Hey everyone. So, I've been doing some travel. A lot. No surprises there, obviously. But if you've been keeping up with some of my posts on various social media, you know that I have also been trying out some new luggage trackers, including during days when my travel's been a little disrupted. In the end, the bags ultimately get where they're going to go, but it really has given me a lot of peace of mind to play the AirTag game, although not just with AirTags anymore. As you're aware, again, I've talked about this in the past, right? Like AirTags are an Apple ecosystem product. They work really well. I like a lot of Apple hardware. I just don't have an Apple phone. I've been on Android for a very long time, and I don't know if I'm ever going to change that. Maybe one of these days, but I'm pretty entrenched in that whole world. That's why I always rely on other people who have Apple phones to be like, oh, what's your iPhone say the AirTag? What's it doing? So I have been using trackers by PebbleBee. Huge props to Snubs, my friend Snubsy. If you don't follow Shannon Morse, you absolutely should. Link down there. And no surprises, right? Like she talked about them already. The TLDR is like these work. They work very well. They work across all Android phones. And the Android Find My Device network, while I don't think it is turned on by default the way Apple like did with their AirTag network, it is very broad. And I've really been able to set these up quickly, use them reliably. There's a little click button on them. I didn't realize. Like setting it up was I just had to read the freaking manual. Once I did that, super functionality, works very well, almost comparable to AirTags. The Bluetooth is like the Bluetooth function, like BLE has roughly the same radios in every phone. The only thing the Android ecosystem and all these types of tags, because PebbleBee's not the only one out there, there's a number of people playing in this space now. The only thing you don't have that Apple does on the iPhone is the ultra wideband, which, if you don't know, that's if you're within not immediate range of the tag, but close enough to it. You'll pick it up a little bit greater distance, but it also allows some of that fun directional hot cold kind of thing that if you've seen someone with an iPhone, the Apple AirTag, you can play some real precision games to try to find like which one of these crates has my thing in it. The best you can do with a PebbleBee is to make it chirp like a lot of other tags. But let me give you some specific examples of what I've done by putting these into Pelican cases. Pelican cases, my luggage, that still have AirTags in them, and some recent trips I've taken and how it worked out. So my first trip was going from Seattle to Vegas. Obviously, I'm there all the time, Red Team Alliance and other conferences and things, and no problems. Like I had one checked bag, one carry-on bag. They were both Pelican cases, but the checked one, you can see that again, the Find My Device network. There's got to be rampers and other staff, I guess, out there with Android phones because the PebbleBee tag was pinging off of those phones and other devices right out at the gate, right out at the pier. Everything was fine. So I'm on the plane, putting my stuff in the overhead bin and knowing that my bag was put in the belly of the plane. Can I do a little mini rant about something unrelated to the tag trackers, but overhead bins? There's got to be some way that this is beneficial, I guess, in flight attendant land. But I personally do not understand when you're halfway through loading the plane that flight attendants will start to go through the cabin slamming shut the overhead bins because they're like full. I get it. I understand that the bin is full. It won't accept any more stuff in it. That's obvious to everyone if the bin is open. If the bin is closed, I don't know if you've witnessed this. I certainly have. I watch person after person. It's kind of like the elevator button's already been pushed, but you walk up and you're like, maybe that person didn't push it right. I'm going to push it again. Humans love to be participatory and get their confirmation that way. So you watch passenger after passenger trying to find, and they'll start opening up bins. I have gotten on planes late in the boarding process when I was running through the airport. I will flip open bins to be like, are you sure it's, and half the time there's still room. Yes, I can't get a goddamn rollerboard or something or a Peli case, but like if I have a jacket or a small backpack, I can still find space. Why do flight attendants close it early? It means that they're spending more time in the aisle, farting around. I guess they're just trying to get ahead of the game because there's plenty of pre-flight stuff they've got to do to get the bird in the air. I get it. But in my opinion, just stay at the back, stay in the galley, stay up front. Let the passengers do all their shit, and then you can just go through bam, 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 bam at the very end, closing everything. I'm not a flight attendant. I have friends who are. I'll reach out to a few of you. You know who you are. But that's just my question. back half of that trip worked out quite similarly. As you saw in Las Vegas, on the ground, same song, second verse, right? The AirTags were pinging, I could see them. The PebbleBee was pinging, I could see them. It was fun for me on this return journey, though. I was actually messaging with Tara and Emily saying, hey, send me screenshots. So what does the AirTag say? And I was comparing it to what the PebbleBee tag was saying. And in almost each instance, bang, bang, perfectly identical, very good tracking. Like as a tracker product, they're almost parallel. Again, the only difference is which ecosystem are you in? How are you interfacing with the tag? Next trip, you can kind of start to see the differences here now between the Android PebbleBee and Apple AirTags, right? So I'm clearly out on an airfield at this point on the runway. And while the tracker knows like kind of where it is, it's giving you a broad range. It's saying, hey, I'm estimating the best information I think I have from like other Android phones I saw before I pushed out here. So again, not perfect, good enough in most instances for most people. I will say though, there's a broader functionality note when you have like other people like helping you look at the tracker data that has really become obvious to me as I did all these experiments. When you're looking at the trackers, you're usually in some sort of Find My Device menu or map. So the Find My Network or the Apple AirTag maps, that's not the same thing as just like system maps, like Google Maps or Apple Maps, where you usually can see other people whom you know, right? So like if you share other location data with other people in your life, like I do, you can see them. But then if you want to see your tracker tags, you have to switch to another view. It's not actually easy, I found on AirTags or on PebbleBee, to actually see other humans and your tags on the same screen. So again, like if you're the user looking for your tag, works just fine. If you're ever giving remote support to someone saying, hey, yes, you're in the parking lot, you're near the car or the motorcycle, whatever you have like a tag on, you're like, no, go to your left. No, I think you're set. Hang on, let me check. And you switch to the other. No, is that there in this map? You're trying to like get relative positions by looking at two different views. You're like, I think you're south. You move a few rows. No, you moved away from it. No, I'm sorry. You moved. So I wish they would all be on one unified map. That just doesn't exist because there's like street maps and then there's tag maps. And the differences between, AirTags and PebbleBee type tags and other Android tags, it was really cemented once again on this next trip where you see the ultra wideband allows the tags on an Apple network to literally ping off of phones when they're in the belly of an aircraft and passengers are in the cabin. I never saw that happen with the Android tags, right? So as many of you follow me online, like you saw recent videos about this, right? I had a rejected takeoff in Raleigh, and my itinerary kind of fell apart, and I didn't have my check bags. They said, no, they're going to be on the next flight. You can stick around. I said, no, I'm not going to stick around. You're not going to make my connections. So my bags were like off in the airport system without me, which again, I didn't care about. They're tracked. That's fine. But the next day when I was traveling home on the rebuilt itinerary, I was getting like the official luggage tracking, I guess it was American I was on, their network was having trouble like figuring out my bag. Because if you've ever seen when you get a bag that's misrouted or rerouted, you get the retagging and the rush and the priority, and those are edge cases. Those are kind of irregular ops for the airlines. A lot of times the baggage network, even in the app, like the official airline app, will not be perfect. And that was the case for me. I was getting first no data, then I was getting weird pings. It was on this plane. No, it was on the plane you were on yesterday. No, it's not on that plane. So I couldn't tell, like, did they load it? Did they not? Is it stuck in some other city? My PebbleBee tag did show me that it had left the ground in Raleigh. Like it was in Clit. My bag was in Clit overnight. And I'm like, is it still in the fucking ground? Is it not? The last time the Android network saw it was like 8 a.m. So I thought it was in the air. I just didn't know where. And ultimately, I was messaging in the air. I said, hey, Tara, can you check? And sure enough, Tara was able to see it. You can see this is a screenshot where she's like, oh, yeah, your bag is somewhere over Spokane right now. It's probably, because she's a pilot, she's like, oh, it's probably on this flight. They put it on this carrier. Yeah, it's coming home. So even though I was like on the ground, I guess in Chicago at that point, I knew that my bags were like where they were. I knew they would probably land on the ground almost the same time I was going to at this point, because I was up in the air. And as you can see, like when I landed, Emily was like, oh yeah, she replied. She's like, oh yeah, your bag's on the ground. Here it is. But the Android tag, the AirTag, those differences there, right? The Android tag wasn't able to pick up off of other passengers' phones in the air, because Bluetooth is not going to get quite. You can sometimes get a reach if there's like a passenger and the bag is right below their seat, it might hit. AirTags, we've seen this a lot. In fact, it's really funny. AirTags now are so good that passengers who have iPhones really, really think that they should always see it. Like, my bag should be pinging off me right now. Why is it not under my seat somewhere in the belly of this plane? It's funny. Some people get so dependent on it that they will complain to flight crews, and they'll say like, "Hey, you didn't load my bag," and they start screaming about it. There was an ACARS message. Like, you see this? This was an ACARS message that in the network, it's like passengers insisting that their bag is not loaded. Passengers upset. Can you get us information? We've told the passenger it's an AirTag. It's not perfect, right? If you don't follow ACARS Drama, it is an account. It's on Mastodon, and I think they might be on Blue Sky as well. So yeah, it's very amusing. You can see things about like, hey, can you get us a gate in Seattle? Or hey, the coffee makers aren't working. Can you please somebody look at that? Can you please clean our windshield? Or my favorite one that I saw was like a little boy in like seat 20C went to the bathroom on the seat. Please send the biohazard crew to come in during the cleaning of the aircraft. But yes, ultimately, am I happy with the PebbleBee? Yes. Will I keep using these? Yes. Are they perfect? No, nothing's perfect. They're not quite as functional as an AirTag. They're good enough for me, but even AirTags themselves have limitations. All the trackers that are out there, whether you're talking about new ones that are working on Android, and again, there are many brands. They're like Samsung. Samsung is playing with their proprietary, of course, which is dumb. But like every one of these tags basically is good enough for everything you probably need, but there are two key freaking gripes I have, regardless of your ecosystem. Number one gripe: sharing your tag data with others is way harder and stupider than it should be, especially across platform, which you still can't do. The fact that PebbleBee tags, like, oh, you can use them with you can use them on Apple, you can use them on anything you want. You kind of can on Apple, like you can do them as a Bluetooth tag, whatever. But if you have we've talked about this before, if you have an AirTag and you want to share it with someone who's also an Apple user, like again, like Tara shared some of the AirTags with Emily, if they want to share them with me, no, really, like there is no way to do that. And I have an Apple account. Like obviously we all share calendars. I have an iCloud account. But if you try to share an AirTag with me, it will say, like in browser, please take out an iPhone or an iPad or something, log in from an iDevice to get this tag data. The flip side is also true. When I tried to share the PebbleBee Android tag with some of my iPhone people, Emily and other people were like, no, it says I need to open this first from an Android device with Find My Device network turned on. That is ridiculous. I hate it. And yes, I've seen people in the comments of previous videos where like, you could just get a beater iPhone or an old iPhone. You don't even need a SIM card. You can get on Wi-Fi and just keep it in your bag. A spare one costs you. Do you even fucking hear yourselves? When I want to know where something is, I want to spend about 5, maybe 10 seconds getting that information. I want to take a device on my phone, boop, check, click, yep, it's good, fine. Having an old spare, first of all, like I don't carry a bunch of extra crap on me, so carrying an extra device in general. But if I take a device, I have to rummage through my bag because it's not in my pocket, take it out, boot it up, dick around, try to find like a Wi-Fi connection, or someone's like, just tether to your other phone. We used to be a proper country. Come on, have some fucking dignity. I'm not going to do that. All right, there it is. Yay, I got it. Put it down, shut it down, put it away, charge it, remember to charge it. Not happening at all. Not happening. The idea that you need another device in that ecosystem is comical. And you know this because other services have solved this. If you have a Lyft ride or Uber or something and you're saying, hey, want to show you where my Uber is, there's a share button right in the app. It doesn't tell somebody else, hey, if you want this information, go create a Lyft account. No, it's just click this web page. Here it is. Here's the data. There's nothing that would prevent Apple's AirTags or Android, nothing that would prevent that from being like, here's a web page. And if you did share this location, it would probably be smart to have a timer, share for the next 3 hours, share for the next 2 days, whatever. And that link could just be used by anybody. The fact that it's not infuriates me. And I'm sure the developers and the engineers will say there's some privacy reason, and maybe that's valid, but it's annoying as balls. And the cynics among you are just going to say, well, yeah, because they want to just shove more product. They want to have more people with their own purchasing these $25, $30 products for themselves. You could be right. What's the other feature that I think these lack, which would be very easy to implement, however? The most common way that I believe tons of people are using these, whether you're talking AirTags or Android tags, is luggage, right? It's the most common time that we have something that's kind of valuable to us, that's separated from us, that we want to get back. We're not putting these in our cars, or, I mean, I know some people who put them on bikes and motorcycles and things, but most people are using them for luggage. There would be a beautiful opportunity to have a feature where you take your phone out and you're like, oh, this luggage tag, alert me when it becomes near. You put it back in your pocket. The idea in my mind would be the next time it pops on Bluetooth or ultra wideband on an Apple, you get a little buzz in your pocket. You take it, oh, AirTag's coming near. It's nearby. That would be heaven at baggage claim. Because, again, we want to do pet peeves and gripes. Every freaking dumb dingus who stands with their knees right against the baggage belt, you're an asshole. Step the fuck back, please. So, because I want to see where my bag's coming out. I can't see. Yeah, you know what you can't see? Because everyone else is all the freaking right up there. And they got their freaking mess of kids and everything. Get your kids the hell away from the bag belt. Your child is 7. They're not lifting your 45-pound suitcase. Just please get them back. But the people who are jerks are like standing right up there. You can't see where the luggage is. And I get it. You want to see your bag quickly. Imagine everyone just standing nicely back. And again, I'll talk about like Lyft and Uber and services like that, where your ride is approaching. You don't have to have your phone in your hand or on the table at dinner. You can have it in your pocket as you're saying your goodnights and paying the bill and putting away the last coffee or shot of whiskey, because you know, buzz, buzz, buzz. Oh, so-and-so is pulling up at the curb in a few minutes. I'm going to kiss and hug people and leave. Imagine that. All of us just standing back, just smoking and joking or whatever, and then, oh, my bag's probably coming out that belt right now. Let me take a look at that. There it is. Cool. I'll grab it. I wish that existed, and it doesn't. So, gripes aside, am I happy with these? Yes. There's many people playing in this space, the Samsung Galaxy tags, which I'm not interested in because they're proprietary. I don't know this for sure, but all the reporting I've read says they only work on Samsung devices. Samsung's really trying to be the next Sony in terms of weird, dumb proprietary crap and their own little special walled gardens. But the PebbleBee, I like a ton. Huge thanks. I would never have known about them. Huge thanks to Shannon. I love you for talking about these. That's the reason I tried them out. And thanks to everyone who's been following along. Thank you to everyone who's been tracking the AirTags for me. I will still keep the AirTags for a while, and I'll still message a few of you occasionally, be like, hey, honey, where's the freaking, yep, okay, thank you. But yeah, I will rely on other people in my life less and less because the PebbleBee tags are doing such a good job so far. I'll give you more updates in the future. I will say, we haven't done a giveaway in a while, so how about those junker tracker tags? They're not complete pieces of shit, right? Like, they work on Bluetooth only, and if you have a workshop or something and everything is all in one building and you're always looking for that particular power tool or that particular machine or something that moves around a building, sure, you could use these. In fact, what I'll do is, we'll put the giveaway link down here. I'll do 2 giveaways. I'll give them away in pairs. So they still work. They still, they're just not for me. They're not for luggage. But if you want to win these super overseas cheapo ones, these like Menards style tags, I think they were bought. Somebody said they bought them at Menards, and I found it. I don't live in the Midwest, but yeah, they're going to be the giveaway this week. So go ahead and, you sign up once, you're good forever on the giveaways. Yes, I'm behind on all the giveaways. A few of you are going to get some emails that are like, wow, that was a giveaway from 6 months ago. Yeah, life's kind of fucking busy right now. There's a lot of shit going on in the world. One less thing I have to worry about, though, is where my goddamn luggage is because the tags are working well for me. All right, I hope this was useful. I hope you don't mind. It's late. I'm a little punchy. And I still enjoy experimenting with this. I'll still keep tweeting about, well, not tweeting about it. I'll still keep posting and skeeting and everything else about it and tooting and Instagramming, and follow me where you want to or don't. I don't give a goddamn. I'm much happier if you just say hi to me in person. So if we're on a plane, if we're in an airport, Come up to me, ask me how the luggage is doing. I'll show you my phone screen. Wherever you are, wherever you're going, wherever you're flying, I hope your luggage makes it with you. I hope you and your bags stay safe out there.